As we welcome 2018, many of our minds inevitably turn to New Year's Eve resolutions. We think about how we're going to improve our lives and perhaps also our sense of self. But often a week in, those goals, those resolutions are long gone. To talk about the common thought patterns, I'm joined by Jerome Samaha. He's a personal trainer and he's here in the studio. Thanks for joining me.
Hi Dan, how you going?
Now, tell me, how many people come to you and say, my resolution is to lose 10, 15 kilos by this time next year?
Everyone. Everyone does. Everyone says,
I'm not the only one.
I want to tone up and lose weight. That's what everyone says.
How many people actually achieve that?
Not as many as I'd like, but we do get some good results. It ebbs and flows. Some people go through great times and some people go down times, but yeah, we're still working on it.
What about this school of thought about breaking down resolutions into smaller components? So perhaps I'll do half an hour of exercise a week or every 3 days, perhaps, so that there are goals that are a bit closer and are perhaps a bit more achievable.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really good point. I think a lot of my clients who say to me, I want to lose 10 kilos or lose 15 kilos, put so much pressure on themselves and put so much thought into that target, they forget about a lot of other things. A great thing that I like to tell my clients is, hey, just focus on coming to the gym twice a week or focus 3 times a week, whatever your schedule allows, as long as it's sustainable, and then over time, no doubt you will hit your goals.
What happens for those people who do set something that might not be achievable? Do you often see that there's a bit of a falling off the wagon and then a spiral, if you will?
Yeah, I think people are very, very hard on themselves. I think people don't allow themselves to trip and fall every now and then. I'm a personal trainer. I've been a personal trainer for years. I still have bad days. I still miss workouts every now and then. And, you know, just allowing yourself to say, okay, not every day is going to be a great day, is actually going to allow yourself just to, you know, ease that burden of going so hard on those goals.
So how do you get back into the cycle if you do miss a day or miss a couple of days if you're travelling, for example?
Yeah, you just have to be honest with yourself. I know it's hard. It's a very individual process, and it's hard to give, you know, general advice, because I train hundreds of clients and they have different things that makes them tick. I think if you give yourself a process that says, okay, if I miss a workout or if I eat bad, let it go, move on. Everyone trips up and it's fine. Just don't dwell on it, because if you dwell on it, then you'll just sink yourself deeper and deeper.
What about having little celebrations when you do meet goals?
I know, we don't celebrate enough, do we? No one celebrates enough.
It's so much easier to focus on the negative.
I've got clients who lose 5 kilos, and instead of telling me like, okay, well, I want to lose the next 5 straight away, and I'm like, well, give yourself a time, you know? So we don't celebrate the wins enough, and we should.
So what would you say about that? How do you do that? Well, what's the way to get from perhaps marking the losses to celebrating the wins?
Well, I guess, you know, it is individual, and I guess people will work out what they want for themselves. Like you said, I think a great way is just to break things down in smaller processes. If you say to yourself, all right, I'll give myself a month to achieve X or Y, then at the end of that month, allow yourself a little treat, whether it's, you know, a little chocolate, a glass of champagne, whatever, but make sure you can earn that treat and make sure that you enjoy it when you do have it.
Now, Jerome Samaha, tell me about the psychology around setting resolutions and what we do, because a lot of it, of course, is about the physicality, about working out, about being a better physical version of ourselves. But it's in the headspace, isn't it?
It is in the headspace, and I think a lot of mistakes people make is they think too short term, and they feel so guilty about eating badly over Christmas that, you know, they sign up to the gym on day one, and then instead of easing back into training, they're flogging themselves an hour and a half every single day, and then they get disheartened and they get injured, or they think this is too hard. My advice is just ease yourself in and be patient. You know, I'm in my mid-30s now, and I like to think that I'm going to be training for the next 20, 30, 40 years. So if you be patient, then over time, you'll win the game. If you miss out on the first month or second month, just know that you've still got a long life ahead of you, and, you know, things will be okay.
So just how busy is this time of year for you?
Packed. Packed. This is the busiest time of year. Next month, I'll see the gym going crazy, and then there'll be a drop-off once people realise how hard it is.
I know that you don't want to speak in generalisations, but what other advice could you give anyone who might be listening today thinking, you know, I want to set resolutions that make me better in terms of fitness holistically? something though.
Yeah, Dan, one thing that works for me and has worked for my members is a sense of community, a sense of accountability. When I want to set myself a goal, I drag in 2 or 3 friends to try to do it with me. Just yesterday, I had a bet with my mother-in-law that if I gave up chips, because chips is my vice, if I gave up chips and she gave up chocolate, then we'd do it together. So we've got a little side bet to see who cracks first.
Who will crack first?
Oh, I don't know. Last night I was sitting down watching TV just dying to have chips, but I thought, nah, this bet. So I think a great thing is to find a strategy that when your motivation levels are down, because motivation does go up and down. When your motivation levels are down, to think, okay, what's a strategy or process I can put in place that keeps me on the path that I want to go on when I don't want to.
Well, I might have to reassess my own resolutions. Jerome Samaha, thank you so much for speaking with me today. I
My
do
pleasure.
appreciate it.